Alright, we're asked to factor this binomial. I've suggested a bit of a roadmap. Let me slide all this over. Especially if you're new to factoring. First you look to see if there's a GCF, and then you pay close attention to how many terms you're given. In this case there is a GCF, and we have two terms. Alright, so we're going to start by factoring out the GCF. Move this out of our way. Alright, the GCF is x squared. Common practice in math is if you factor something out, you put it in front of the parentheses. If we factor x squared out of x to the 6th, we're left with x to the 4th. If you factor x squared out of x squared, this negative sign just came down. Okay. If you factor x squared out of x squared, you're left with a 1. Alright. It might look a little confusing, but you can convince yourself if you send this x squared back in, you'll get x to the 6th for this term, and you'll get x squared for that one. Okay. After you factor out the GCF, you continue down the list. I'll bring our list back in. Okay, you pay attention to how many terms. There's two terms. Do we have a difference? Yes, because of that negative sign, of perfect squares. X to the 4th is a perfect square, and 1 is a perfect square. So we're going to continue factoring. Let me move this out of the way. This x squared, we're just going to keep up with it. It's going to sit out there. Alright? This is a difference of squares, so we can factor that. That'll give us two sets of parentheses. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared, so you put x squared in the first position for each of these sets of parentheses. The square root of 1 is 1, so you put that in the last position for each. And then these have to be different signs. You need one positive and one negative. You can convince yourself of that because if you multiply, some people say use FOIL, or you basically just make each term hit each term. You'll see the middle term disappearing. So I encourage you, if you're not familiar with what's going on here, multiply x squared times x squared times negative 1, 1 times x squared, and 1 times negative 1, and you'll see your middle terms disappear.